Hello and welcome to Unbuilt Giants, a series that looks at the development and demise of some of history's most notable and sometimes bizarre skyscraper projects. The Grant USA Tower was one of the most ambitious unbuilt skyscraper proposals of the 1980s in the United States. Planned for Newark, New Jersey, it was promoted by developer Harry Grant as a symbol of the city's revival, and as a privately financed landmark that would have surpassed every building in the world at the time. Although the tower never progressed beyond plans and related site work, it became a striking episode in Newark's modern urban history. Harry Grant was born in Baghdad in 1942 and later lived in Israel and Canada before moving to the United States in the mid-1970s with his wife and children. After settling in northern New Jersey, he became involved in property development, including homes and shopping centers in Bergen County. By the mid-1980s, he was presenting himself as a major private developer with the means to deliver large urban projects. In Newark, he gained attention not only through his development proposals, but also by giving high-profile civic gifts, including new flagpoles, pavements, and the 24-carat gold-leaf dome on top of Newark City Hall. In 1986, shortly after Sharp James became mayor of Newark, Grant proposed the Grant USA Tower for the site of the old Central Railroad of New Jersey terminal on Broad Street. The proposed site was close to Broad Street, Lafayette Street, and Edison Place, within a short distance of Newark City Hall. Newark at the time was facing serious economic and social difficulties, including population decline, vacant buildings, crime, and reduced investment. Grant's proposal was therefore presented as a dramatic private sector answer to the city's need for jobs, commercial activity, and renewed confidence. The tower was announced as a 121-story skyscraper rising 1,750 feet. If it had been completed as planned, it would have been taller than Chicago's Sears Tower and would have been the tallest building and tallest structure in the world at that time. It was also intended to include the world's tallest hotel, with a 500-room hotel occupying the upper floors from roughly the 100th to the 121st story. The design called for a green and gold exterior, with dollar green glass and gold detailing intended to symbolize New Jersey as the Garden State, and to project a patriotic American image. At the top, the tower was to feature a 21-story atrium above the hotel floors, gold letters spelling USA on the facade, an observation deck, 2 exterior lifts, and a golden American bald eagle mounted above the roofline. The tower was also planned to include about 3 million square feet of office space, convention facilities, a parking garage, a promenade, an ice skating rink, and other commercial and public amenities. Grant also proposed a major transport element. He said the tower would be connected by an elevated monorail running from Newark Penn Station to the Skyscraper, and then towards Newark International Airport. He described the system as privately financed and free to use, comparing it to Disneyland. In another version of the proposal, he agreed to contribute $30 million if the Port Authority extended a transit line along Broad Street, linking the tower to the airport, Newark Penn Station, and New York City. The proposed construction program began with the wider redevelopment of the Broad Street site. In 1985, Grant bought the block bounded by Broad, Lafayette, Edison, and Mulberry Streets at a city auction for about $1.2 million. In 1986, he formally unveiled the Grant USA Tower and said he wished to begin construction as soon as details with city officials could be settled. The tower was initially described as a $500 million project, though later accounts placed its estimated cost at about $750 million. Grant sought a 15-year property tax abatement from the city and said he would finance the project himself rather than rely on state or federal money. By 1989, construction had begun not on the tower itself, but on the first related component, the Renaissance Mall. This 5-story, 250,000-square-foot shopping and commercial complex was intended to include an international food court, a floating piano bar, office space, and horse and buggy rides around downtown Newark. A separate 30-story building, Grant USA 1, was also proposed to connect to the mall by Skyway. These elements were meant to prepare the site and support the eventual construction of the main tower. The Grant USA Tower was never built because the proposal depended on a combination of extraordinary finance, public confidence, city approvals, and major infrastructure support that never came together. From the beginning, Newark officials expressed both enthusiasm and skepticism. Some saw the project as a possible turning point for the city, while others doubted whether such a vast private development could be delivered in a struggling office market. Questions were also raised about the likely construction costs, potential rents, and Grant's ability to finance the scheme. Grant's relationship with the city deteriorated in 1989 after his team began replacing public pavements with Belgian brick without proper authority and ignored a cease and desist order from the city engineer. Mayor James, who had initially welcomed Grant's attention to Newark, withdrew support and accused him of behaving as though he had control over city government. The dispute damaged Grant's standing at a time when confidence in the tower was already weakening. Financial problems then overwhelmed the project. Although the tower had been promoted with grand architectural drawings and claims of private funding, it never moved beyond the planning stage. The Renaissance Mall, the only major piece of the development to begin construction, was left unfinished after Grant ran into bankruptcy and other financial difficulties. Later reports connected his business activities with foreclosures, civil suits, unpaid debts, legal disputes, and failed ventures. The abandoned mall remained a visible reminder of the failed project for years. In 2005, the incomplete Renaissance Mall was demolished as part of the redevelopment that led to the Prudential Center, which opened in 2007. The unused remains of the old rail station below the site survived, and later plans discussed connecting that portion to the Prudential Center and potentially turning it into a museum. In that way, part of the physical setting associated with the Grant USA Tower remained, even though the skyscraper itself was never realized. The Grant USA Tower was conceived as a monument to Newark's rebirth, combining record-breaking height, office space, a hotel, leisure facilities, transport links, and patriotic spectacle. Its failure reflected the gap between speculative urban ambition and the financial, political, and practical realities of building on such a scale. Although never constructed, the project remains a memorable example of 1980s development optimism and of Newark's long search for renewal through major civic and commercial projects. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and consider subscribing for more episodes coming soon. See you next time.